stains are an everyday problem that all humans face. Fortunately, the accidental discovery of Scotchgard in 1952 by 3M chemists Hasty Sherman and Samuel Smith brushes these issues aside. Scotchgard is a fabric protector spray that has several uses. Currently, the items that Scotchgard can be applied on include, but are not limited to, couches, clothing, carpets, drapes, and so on and so forth. This spray helps repel oil, grease, and water and prevent stains on fabrics without changing the aesthetic or feel of the fabric that it's applied on. Hence, it allows for easier cleanups, and Scotchgard was actually one of the market's leading products for many decades until 2003. So to understand the material that millions use, PFOSA is actually the precursor of PFOS, which means that once PFOSA breaks down, PFOS is formed. So let's move on to perfluorooctane sulfonate. Perfluorooctane sulfonate is the like I just said right now, is the byproduct of PFOSA's decomposition. PFOS's usage was actually prevalent in firefighting foams, which is, when the firefighter guys shoots the hose and like a bunch of white foam stuff comes out. It's basically that stuff, and it was used to suppress fires by coating the fuel and preventing the fire from further contact with oxygen. As aforementioned, the implementation of PFOSA and PFOS was discontinued in 2003 after it was determined that both of these chemical compounds had very terrible side effects, which was later verified by the Stockholm Convention. However, due to the success and widespread applicability of Scotchgard, 3M, the chemical factory, was determined to find a chemical substitute to keep their product in the market. This led to the creation of the daughter chemical, you can call it, perfluorobutane sulfonic acid, PFBS. So PFBS is distinctively different than its predecessors, because there's only the carbon chain is only four. There's only 4 carbon atoms in the chain, and PFBS is a chemical compound with a sulfonic acid functional group. However, though PFBS is still a replacement of PFOS and PFOSA sprays, like its forerunner, PFBS has several side effects. One of which is caused by its half-life. So PFBS's half-life is actually a little over 1 month, which is fairly short compared to its predecessor, PFOS, which was recorded to be 5.4 years. However, it must be noted that there have been many experiments done which have helped determine that PFBS, the new chemical, is still very persistent and does not decompose very readily in the environment. So, given the chemical composition of Scotchgard, both the old one, which included PFOS, and now the new one, PFBS, we must look at and evaluate the effects of using Scotchgard. So, regarding 3M's former Scotchgard of PFOS, some of Scotchgard's hazards include, but were not limited to, extreme drowsiness, dizziness, or nausea, which basically seem very futile. People feel dizzy on many occasions. However, to make this even worse, other companies like Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing backed up these 3M officials and said that Scotchgard posed negligible effects on humans. However, obviously to the unsuspecting consumer, these claims make it seem as though Scotchgard is perfectly fine to use. There are no detrimental health effects. However, this all changed when there was a documentation of the chemicals present in the blood of newborn babies which was collected right after birth. So, since then, it was revealed that in humans there was weakened immunity, ADHD, elevated cholesterol, so on and so forth, and in animals, the PFOS and PFOS and PFOSA built up in livers, in like the animals' livers, which delayed physical development, stunted growth, so on and so forth. It's very interesting. However, they're animals, so they were basically tested on. This stuff was basically tested
Oh,
on. Additionally, there were also other environmental consequences, such as that this chemical PFOS had high mobility in water, soil, high potential for long-range transport, so on and so forth. And eventually, it was determined that these issues collectively posed the prospect of irreversible environmentally harmful effects. So, the detrimental effects of Scotchgard raised several ethical implications. 3M was actually producing 4.5 million kilograms of Scotchgard spray annually, and once they were, I guess, exposed by all these scientific discoveries, they claimed it being a surprise. However, there was obvious documentations, like thousands of documentations in the EPA administrative records that